Hello, dear friends. Welcome to our channel again. My name is Chris Chukuma. People call me Dr. Chris. Today, I'm deviating a little bit from the line of presentations that I usually make on this channel. I want to talk about the failures of the Nigerian government and the South African government on the Chidinma Adetshina issue. But first, I want to start by congratulating Chidinma. In my personal opinion, and as far as I'm concerned, and in my own celebration, Chidinma, you are Miss Universe. Congratulations, girl. You make us proud. You made us proud, and you still make us proud. Now, I am glad also that the Miss Universe organization, Global One, created the Miss Universe regional positions, which you now occupy for two continents, the African continent and Oceania. Congratulations. Great feat. In the actual sense, you won that competition. At least facts that have come to light shows that you won that competition. But as usual, global politics has effects on businesses and where they think they will make money and all of that. So let's not talk about that. But congratulations. Congratulations also to Guy Murray Bruce and the Miss Universe organization in Nigeria. Now, let me then talk about why I'm making this video. I'm making this video to highlight my continuous point that political leaders, government leaders. Now I pause because I don't like the word leaders for them. I think they are rulers. I think T-Pain is a ruler, and I don't know where to classify Ramaphosa because I haven't followed much of what he's been doing. I used to respect him so much in the 80s when I was involved in the Youth Solidarity for Southern Africa as a student in the university. He was regarded as the best African negotiator, especially with the apartheid regime at the time. So I did respect him then. I don't know now that he's president. I haven't followed him much, but I think I'll try to now that these things are coming up. Excuse me. But I want to talk about their failures, their failure of the people, their failure of the two countries, their failure of the African continent. Because the Chidinma issue highlights the colossal nature of the failure of the people who call themselves leaders in Africa. Number one failure is that I watched T-Pain and Ramaphosa last week meet and talk about a number of things: the G20, the South Africa in the United Nations, and Nigeria in the international scene. They obviously talked about their businesses and the monies they were making and how they would, support their cronies and their businesses and their sponsors. The one singular issue that is important to the continent, to the people in the streets, to the people, especially in these two countries, South Africa and Nigeria. These two so-called presidents did not even mention. How shameful. The issue of xenophobic attack by South Africans on Nigerians is not something that is minor. It's not something to be ignored. It's not something that is new. And it's not something that is singular to Chidinma. Chidinma was just the balloon popping, if you like, of the situation. South Africans have been exhibiting xenophobic attacks on Nigerians for a long, long time now. They always forget that Nigeria was at the top of the liberation of the black South Africans from the grip of the apartheid regime. I know about it because, like I just mentioned, I was in youth solidarity in Southern Africa. In fact, prior to going to the university, my salary used to be deducted at Nigerian External Telecommunications as part of the money that was being remitted to the ANC movement in South Africa to fight apartheid regime. All civil servants in Nigeria made contribution to that process. A lot of governmental agencies like NET made the P&T, airport authority, seaport authority, all of those agencies that were government owned all made contributions. The staff made contributions to that process. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of naira in those good old days when the naira was actually stronger than the dollar. We made contributions to that process to gain the freedom of South Africa. And I've had good-hearted and well-informed and nice South Africans in this process talk about it. But what I have not seen is the government on any of the two sides coming out to do something concrete to check this trend, because it's already going out of hand. The Chidinma case has now, gone its circle and come to the place where, again, like I said, a few honest South Africans have come out to, admit that there were errors made, lots of errors. But the number one failure for me is the fact that, in spite of the fact that none of the two governments had come out over the time to say anything, they had an opportunity in that meeting last week, and the two of them, neither the ministers, neither the presidents, were able to say anything. It just shows that the rulers and ruiners of Africa do not care about the people and the real issues affecting the people in the continent. That's a big failure for me. The second part on the part of South Africa is the fact that it was actually a serving minister who initiated, orchestrated, and promoted the attack on Chidinma and raised all kinds of false allegations. And the South African government in which he serves did not call him to order. The president, whom he reports to, did not call him to order and make a statement about it. And the government as a whole in South Africa said and did absolutely nothing, allowing him and his crony in Kenny Kunene, the minister is called Chidinma. Now, let's start from there. Anyway, himself and Kenny Kunene, who obviously is a deputy or something, around there, continued the falsehood that promoted the vitriol on Chidinma over the long period of time up until Chidinma won the Miss Universe contest. The South African government even saw that South Africans took a further step to petition the Miss Universe organization globally to disqualify Chidinma for no just cause. And the South African government still said nothing. Now, Kunene and Mackenzie were never called to order, have not been called to order up till now. Now, Kunene is an opposition party guy, so maybe for him it's a YouTube winning point to continue to talk all the trash he was talking. What about Mackenzie, who is serving as sports minister in the Ramaphosa government? What about him? Failure in the part of South African government in putting order, in creating a sense of decency, in promoting unity and purpose, in promoting Africanism. The South African government did absolutely nothing, meaning that they were 100% in support of attacking an innocent girl who has no fault in whatever process, And these attacks came after they saw a flicker of hope that she was going to win this contest, which she eventually won anyway globally. Failure in leadership. Let's be talking about leadership, because everything rises and falls on leadership. Failure in leadership. Gertrude Mackenzie started these attacks by saying that Chidinma's name is not South African. Let me ask the question. Is Mackenzie a South African name? Because I don't know any African language in which Mackenzie has a meaning. Is Mackenzie a South African name? This guy has not even gone to look at his own ancestry, look at his history, but he can get up and start attacking a young woman who was born in South Africa. This young man was born in South Africa. And that brings me to the third leadership failure of the South African government in this process. South Africa in 2024. Now, let me repeat. South Africa in 2024 still does not recognize children of African parents born on the soil of South Africa. How does that make sense in 2024? In every country of the world I know, if you're born in a country, you are automatically a citizen of that country. In fact, a place like Canada or US will actually seize the child if the parents want to take them back to, say, Nigeria or something, and insist that unless the child gets a visa and gets a passport, a national passport of the country, and get a visa to go back to, say, Nigeria or South Africa, the child is not going, because the child is a Canadian or an American. South Africa in 2024 does not recognize children born by African parents in the country, on the soil of South Africa, as citizens. How preposterous can this be? Now, I also learned, and correct me if I'm wrong, those who know better than me, I also learned that the white people who now claim South Africa as their place of origin do not have this law affecting them. If any European goes to South Africa, gives birth in South Africa, the child is a South African automatically. How does that even make sense? How does that make sense? Now, even if it's not a law or something, but it is happening, and Mackenzie and Kunene and their company are not attacking it, it automatically becomes a culture and a tradition. But they can attack a child whose parents are both Africans and who was born in South Africa. It's a big and colossal failure on the South African government, because that's something that should have been checked, and it should have happened. And if it didn't happen until this whole hatred came up on Chidinma, the South African government should have quickly rushed to correct that error and know that in 2024, that kind of a thing cannot happen. Leadership failures in Africa. Leadership failures in Africa. The fourth and final thing, perhaps, that I want to talk about in terms of leadership failure, well, maybe not the final, but the fourth thing, is that because the governments of both Nigeria and South Africa separated themselves from an issue that was causing and is still causing a big division, big hatred, continuous conflicts and fracas between Africans Nigerian people, South African people. Xenophobia, because the two governments did not speak up. People have all kinds of falsehood around the issue. For instance, number one falsehood. Some South Africans, and I heard this from a woman who was attacking Chidinma even after Chidinma won the contest globally. Some South Africans believe that it was the Nigerian government who extradited Chidinma from South Africa to make her avoid punishment. For what crime? That is something the government should come out and clear properly so that the people are educated that number one, the government was not involved in this matter at all. It was the Miss Universe Nigeria organization who talked with the Miss Universe South African organization and who then made the offer to Chidinma and actually provided travel documents and all the things, and including ticket and accommodation and everything for Chidinma to come and participate in the Nigerian contest. And this organization should be commended so much because they actually did what the government should have done. But the government failed to do it, which is first failure. Second failure, even when the people of South Africa presumed that it was the government of Nigeria that did it, the Nigerian government did not come out to say we didn't do it. The South African government did not come out to say they didn't participate. Why? Because the leadership of the two governments of Nigeria and South Africa do not care about the people. They do not care about the people that they are supposed to be ruling. Second falsehood that has spread across, especially the South African haters, was that the Home Affairs in South Africa, that the Home Affairs in South Africa found that Chidinma's mother committed identity fraud and deprived a woman of her identity. First and foremost, that sounds phony. That's a cooked up thing. Now, I'm not saying that people in Home Affairs didn't publish that information or state it, but I'm saying categorically that it is falsehood created between Mackenzie, Kunene, and whoever their collaborators are in Home Affairs in South Africa. Why do I say so with so much certainty? Who is this woman? Why have we not seen her come out to cry? Chidinma is 23 years old. So this so-called identity theft, obviously, if it really had happened, should have happened tens of years ago. What is the name of this woman? Where is this woman whose identity was stolen? How has this woman lived in South Africa over the years if her identity was stolen? Where is the woman? The government of South Africa is not doing anything in that regard to make sure that the integrity of their department is upheld. Secondly, where is the proof? Because we have not seen any proof at all that Chidinma's mother committed identity theft. Thirdly, Kunene kept making very wild allegations, including the fact, that Chidinma's father came to South Africa in 2010. How is that possible? Chidinma is 23. That means the young man was born in 2001. How would her father come to South Africa in 2010 to give birth to her in 2001? Do we not have sense any longer? What are we talking about? What's going on here? Leadership failures upon leadership failures on that whole issue. Why has the investigation never been concluded? And why would it never ever be concluded? Because everything is false, falsehood. So, as they do in all African criminal leader rulership systems, which is what both Nigeria and South Africa has. They rush quickly, they have the power, and they cancel the identity of both Chidinma and the mother, just so that the people will believe them that their false allegations were true. South African government failed woefully there. Nigerian government failed even more because the Miss Nigeria, the Miss Universe organization in Nigeria saved the situation to bring a citizen or a citizen back from where she was going to be killed, give her the solace she needed, comfort her, and put her into the system to continue her work and her process so that she can achieve the things she wanted to achieve. But the Nigerian government did not rise up at any point to provide any support, any comfort, any defense for this young woman and her mother or her father, who is Nigerian. Her father is Nigerian. The Nigerian government did not. Why? Because the governments in Africa do not care about the African people. Try what just happened with an American citizen or a Canadian citizen. The president of America will be all over it. The prime minister of Canada will be all over it. It never. I'm not even saying that it should have been the president. It could have been Minister of Foreign Affairs. It could have been Minister of Women, Culture, Women Affairs. It could have been Minister of Culture. It could have been any major government official on both sides coming out to ensure that all processes were followed through and issues are cleared and that Chidinma is kept comfortable because she is just a child. She may be 23, but she's just a child for a start. Her mother was being accused of all kinds of things because somebody decided to just, create a narrative to accuse her of things just so they can get her out of the contest. And both governments did nothing. And so falsehood prevailed. And then I remember that woman that I just mentioned. There's a one called Kwena Molekwa, who is a major Nigerian hater on social media. He or she, I don't know whether he's a he or a she, but that particular individual posts nothing except hatred for Nigerians. And they just went on wild goose chase. A government official, a federal minister in South Africa, provided them with the contents to do that. And both sides of the government did absolutely nothing. Fortunately, God did something. In fact, that woman that I was talking about even went as far as accusing the Miss Universe organization global of rigging the Miss Universe contest selection in favor of Chidinma to make her come runners-up. How preposterous. And believe you me, if I were in Miss Universe Global, I will find that woman and all her types in South Africa and sue them for defamation so they can provide proof of that kind of nefarious allegation. Fortunately, I'm not. But again, that's leadership failures. So basically, I doff my hat for Guy Murray Bruce and his team in Miss Universe Organization Nigeria. I doff my hat for, a number of names of Nigerians who are in South Africa and who are successful in their careers and businesses, who supported that process, funded part of it, provided the connections, and made sure that Chidinma and the mother was removed to safety from this whole falsehood. We are grateful to all of you. And Chidinma, congratulations. I just wanted today to point out that this is the way that the ruiners of Africa that call themselves rulers, whether they are president or minister or whatever, this is how they fail the African people. There was simply complete colossal leadership failure in managing the Chidinma Adetshina issue from both the South African people, government, and the Nigerian government. And that's the point I wanted to make today. Thank you for watching, and please like our channel, subscribe to our channel so you get new videos when we load them, and let me hear your opinion about what I have talked about in this video in the comment section. But until I come your way next time, please keep Africa growing and keep leadership improving. You can reach us at www.neadif.ca for your leadership development and strategy planning. Thank you. Bye.